Hello and welcome back to CIPD Bitesize with me, Dan, and today we're going to be looking at the unit 3CO03, and this is looking at, in particular, core behaviours for people professionals. This is in relation to the unit that was released in June 2025 and expires in June 2026. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this unit. So this unit introduces the core behaviours for people professionals, focusing on ethical practice, professional values, and professional development. It considers how certain ways of thinking and acting should be universally consistent, even in new and challenging situations, to promote a sense of well-being and inclusivity in the organisation. So with all of our questions in the unit, you will receive an individual mark per question. They will range from 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 being a refer or a fail, and 4 being a high pass. Please feel free to pause this video now so you can have a look at those descriptors in detail. However, we're going to be focusing on getting you at least a 3, which is a pass. Hopefully by going through our bite-sized sessions, this is where you'll be getting towards that 3, potentially a 4. So with a pass or a level 3 mark, the response is needing to demonstrate a good level value of knowledge. And this is an understanding or skill required to meet that particular AC or particular question. In this as well, it'll be using the likes of good examples, theories, models, and references that you have to back up your arguments that you're making or the statements that you're making. You need to directly address the question. So whatever the question is asking, please don't go off on a tangent, because then that's where you will be going towards the lower end of the ranking, because you're not addressing the task or the question. And then lastly as well, we ask for you to write it in a good format. What we mean by that is a clear structure, essentially using clear academic paragraphs, headings if you want to, just to break that down so it's clear and readable for the markers. Okay, so AC 1.1 is what we're here for today. So let's crack on and see the question. But before we do so, let's talk about the case study. So you have seen the following job advert and have decided to apply. So this is Nuvascare Limited. Provides a range of home-based care to people who need it most for different reasons. We have over 200 qualified and experienced care professionals working across the country, supporting our lovely and loyal valued customers. As a result of the continued expansion, we are seeking a HR L&D assistant to work with our people practice team. The role will involve you in all aspects of people practice initially, but with a view to taking a more specialist role in either the HR or the L&D teams after the first year. And this is a great opportunity, and we are looking for a special person to fill it. Whilst you may not have worked before in the people practice role, we would expect you to have a good understanding of what it is involved in people practice and to be working towards a relevant CIPD qualification. Nuvascare is not just about providing care. We're about providing care in a way that benefits our customers, our staff, our wider communities, and our planet. Our values are honesty, kindness, and openness. And the right person for us will be someone who has also had sound ethical and professional values, who applies these to their work and life. We work in teams, and so we are looking for a good team player, someone who is open, adaptable, and enjoys working with others. Above all, the right person will love learning and building their skills and be motivated to take all opportunities Nuvascare can offer. If you feel the above describes you, then get in touch using the attached questionnaire to tell us a little bit more about you. And this attached questionnaire is the questions that we'll be covering for this unit. So let's take a look. So question 1. This is AC 1.1. We want ethical working is very important in Nuvascare. Tell us why you understand by the terms ethical principles and professional values, and give us an example of how one of your values has informed your behaviour at work. Make sure you give us the full context of your example, what type of work, what value, how it informed your behaviour. So as you can see here, there's a breakdown in how you need to answer these questions in certain different action points. So we need to know what you understand individually and what one of your values is. So action point 1 is understanding ethical principles. Action point 2 will be tell us about how you understand professional values. And then action point 3 is give us an example how one of these values has informed your behavior at work. So, for example, when I was still very junior within my HR career, I would always look at the CIPD professional map for guidance here. And one of the values essentially of the CIPD at the time was curiosity. And curiosity killed the cat. And I was so curious when I was first into HR, and I wanted to know any and everything. So I grabbed every opportunity that I could, if it was a fixed term contract, a temporary basis, or if it was just a project work that I'd be working on. I took as much as I could to inform myself and learn so much about HR to be the professional that I am today, and how that has informed my behaviour at work. It's given me such length and breadth of knowledge and just appreciation for how different companies work and tick. So for me, that's how I would personally answer that and what has happened with myself. Okay, with some recommended reading as well that we provide. These aren't the only things that you should be reading. This is just a quick whistle-stop tour of things that you could relate to. And the CIPD is always a great place to start, and that is due to the CIPD being a CIPD course that you're doing now. So first of all, there's a CIPD fact sheet called Ethical Practice and the Role of People Professionals. And this is very fitting, especially for this question, since it asks regarding your ethics. The CIPD professional map, professional values and purpose. I've just gave a snippet of that and how I applied the professional map that was when I was doing my junior career in HR. And the professional map does always change because the world of work does change. So how does this apply to you currently? That would be a great way to answer action point 3. And then AIHR, which is a Dutch version of CIPD, and they've got a article which is 5 ways HR can shape more ethical culture in organizations, which will answer that second part of the question that you have there. Okay, let's have a little story time. We have these story times in essence to essentially bring more of a fun element to the question, so you can see it from a complete ridiculous angle, but some things may resonate with you in what is being said. I've shared my approach, the case study approach, and now it's the opportunity for the story time. So, the tale of Brenda and the glittering spreadsheets. So as you can see, here's Brenda with her little crown. Welcome to Fluffy Cloud Accounting, where pastel walls reign. The water cooler serves sparkling grape juice and everyone wears blinking LED hats. Among them worked Brenda, mild-mannered accountant by day, passionate lover of glittery spreadsheets that sang operas when the formulas were right by night. One day, her boss, Mr. Snuggleworth, who's on the left, who believed financial reports should smell like cotton candy, asked her to massage some of the numbers for Princess Sparklehoof, who we can see in the back there. And she's a unicorn entangled in a tax mishap. He wanted the books to look sparklier. Brenda's ethical compass screamed, "Thou shalt not fake data, even if it's singing spreadsheets." Her professional values, honesty, integrity, and a fear of imaginary glitter spreadsheet police refused to bend, even when offered a lifetime supply of rainbow sticky notes. Despite her pressure and her interpretive dance from Mr. Snugglesworth, Brenda stood firm. She declined to fudge the numbers, explaining that her ethical and professional obligations, surprisingly, Princess Sparklehoof had simply miscounted the number of hooves, and the issue was simply resolved. But what's the moral of the story here? Even in the world of LED lights and fancy sparkles and unicorn tax breaks, ethical principles and professional values matter. They guide decisions, they maintain your integrity and ensure trust even when spreadsheets sparkle and sing. And that's a great way to kind of look at the question here, because, you know, even in an imaginary world, that someone can still stand to their ground even when they know that's right, because they don't want to go against what their values are. So how you address this question, think about Brenda and her sparkly LED hat and her just all around sparkliness and how she stood firm in what she did. You provide an example of how you have done this in the past as well, because and relate this to the case study, because you are applying to this role with Nuvascare. So that's all we've got time for today on AC 1.1. Join us next time for AC 1.2. Thank you.